Welcome to Sensing Vitality with Annie Thoe.
All right, well, welcome. I'm Annie Thoe. I'm curious what brings you here. I'm sure it's something about the spine, but it might be also about the tree of life. So I am a Feldenkrais practitioner, and it's using movement and awareness to improve how you live your life. Okay, that's my latest definition. We're using movement and awareness, and so it's using slow movement because it's easier to observe something when you're moving slowly than very quickly. There's a lot of movable parts, and so we want to identify what it is we do when we move and how to make it easier. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I do. I work with people one-on-one, and I teach classes. So tonight is kicking off this series, which is all on working on vitalizing your spine, really finding good alignment in your back, and also toning the back. We're going to do a little bit more in the summer months about toning, since it's a very active time of year, and I want to make sure that people feel energized and stable to do those activities you love to do in the summer. And we'll also be addressing the hips, because the hips are essential for back vitality, and so we'll be looking at how your hips connect with the spine, how they support your spine, and it's a very important part of spine health. I want to talk a little bit more about the tree of life. Standing upright on this earth is such a complicated activity, and I could talk about that for another evening, but the spine and how we connect, I find that the trees have so much to teach us of how to be upright. And in native cultures, the tree is one of those elders and considered in the medicine wheel. It's in the North Shield. It's considered one of the North is the ones that know how to survive through the hardest of hardship, okay? And the trees have developed this thick skin so they can withstand winter and come back again. So they're not just a woody plant, but they're really hardy woody plants in the plant kingdom. Does that make sense? And so native cultures look to the tree for medicine of how to survive and how to thrive, because the tree also, it drops its leaves and it fertilizes the ground and it does these amazing things. I mean, it really provides us with shelter and so many things, for tools, for medicine, for food. And humans have this potential too. So I look to trees as sort of the ultimate, consummate teacher for the spine. Now, there's a lot of animals that can teach us about the spine, but the tree has this amazing rootedness and this ability to keep growing taller and taller. But I do want to just say a few words about the spine, and we're going to link the metaphor of this tree of life with your spine. And hopefully you'll leave here with this image of your spine like a tree that is full of vitality and deeply connected to the earth. And so that you will be constantly receiving that energy that the tree gets from the roots in the ground. And so that's one of my intentions in this class tonight, and actually throughout the summer. So we're going to start right away with connecting like a tree to the earth. So grab a blanket. So take your blankets, and what you're going to do is you're going to roll them up into a fat cigar. So I'll show with the skeleton. I have a skeleton here, and I'm sitting the skeleton on the cylinder of a blanket. So you're going to roll your blanket in about an 8-inch diameter. Could be 10, it could be smaller, could be 6. Because what we'll do is we're going to sit on these in a minute. Place your roll so it's perpendicular, pointing forward, and you're going to sit toward the very front of your chair. Have the roll stick out a little bit, kind of like the horn of a saddle on a horse. Okay? And make sure you're in the front part of your chair so your pelvis is not cocked backward, that you're sitting on a flat plane. And ideally, you want a very flat chair. And your feet are spread apart, so the feet are under your knees. Not wider than your knees, not narrower, but right under your knees. And your arms can rest on your legs, so your hands rest on your legs. Sit bones, you've maybe heard that word if you've taken a yoga class or a Feldenkrais class. The sit bones are the bottom part of your pelvis that are touching on whatever you're sitting on, so the bones that sit. And they feel like they're little round protuberances, but they're kind of like the bottom of a rocking chair, actually, because you can rock forward and back on these bones. And try it on your roll a little bit. Rock a little forward and back. And as you do that, do you tend to sense one side more than the other? Okay, can you feel how you're sitting? This is something we don't really tune into when you sit in a chair, but when you sit on this, you can really feel those bones, right? Now remove your roll. Take it away and sit toward the very front part of your chair. Spread your knees again so they're not too close, just so they're over your feet. And sense the difference now than when you were sitting earlier. Feel the contact now. And can you feel both sitting bones, or is one a little more prominent? So that might shift over time. We're going to do some things to work with your alignment. So those of you who felt one side a little bit more, does it feel familiar that you have more weight on that side? Is that the side you would lean toward more, or what information do you have about your activities in your day? If you talk on the phone, do you lean on that side? Do you have a heavy handbag or something like that that you hold on that side? There's all these little patterns that play into this. Okay? All right, let's bring back your roll. Put it underneath you again. Sit to the very front of your chair so that your pelvis is really flat. Most of my clients, after doing this for a few minutes, 50% of their back pain is gone. It's powerful. Just a few 30 seconds to a minute of sitting on a roll like this, it really brings a sense of awareness of where your sit bones are, how to sit flat on them, how to balance the two sides without much work at all. Okay, we're just using gravity to help us here. Let's take away your roll again. Take away your roll and sit again to the very front of your chair. Make sure it's more on that flat part. And see how the contact is now. So you've had a little practice now of feeling the differences. And it's almost like we're teaching you to be a good wine taster here, but you're being a good bone taster, how to sense your bones. Which one can you feel more? How to sense your skeleton. And people say, oh no, I have too much in my butt, I can't feel it. No, these bones, you sit on these bones. They're very clear once you find them, okay? Now, squeeze your butt right now. Squeeze your butt, okay? That's what we're like when we're tense. It's hard to feel the bone, right? Now relax your butt. Relax your butt. Find the sit bone there, okay? Simple, isn't it? So even without the roll, let's say you're at the airport and you're really tired, your back is bothering you. You can just sit like this in the front of the chair, squeeze your butt a little bit so the sit bones disappear, and then relax them, okay? Now when you relax them, it's kind of like rooting. So back to this tree idea. You feel your bones, and the bones are the solid parts of you that connect to the ground or connect to the earth. And they actually, bones have this electrical current to them, which is kind of amazing. So it's literally like plugging in the current of your bones into the current of the planet. How cool is that? But when we're tense, go ahead and squeeze your butt and you're off your chair. You can feel how ungrounding that is, okay? All right, and relax your butt, relax your butt. So that's the other part, the breath. So take an inhale, and we lift a little bit, right? You come off your sit bones, now exhale and drop, and can you find even more contact with the sit bone and with the earth? It's the attention that you give that magnifies this connection, okay? Isn't that interesting? So we can pretty quickly change how we're sitting, how comfortable we are, the quality of the way your bones are connecting to your chair. Let's come back again to sitting on your roll. Bring it back under you. And move to the very front. You don't want to have your back against the back of the chair right now. All right, so here you are on the roll again. Notice your feet, notice your knees, and sense those bones now over the roll. Okay? So this place where your hips are connecting the roll is also like if you move your knees in and out. The place where that moves is your hip joints, okay? This is if we had a tree and we looked at where the tree connects to the ground, it would be where your hip joints are, all right? This is a powerful place. And interestingly enough, like in the chakra system, between your tailbone and your genitals is where this lowest chakra is. And in a tree, it would be where the trunk of the tree meets the ground, okay? And right now we're organizing your tree to have the maximum balance in the two sides so it can grow straight in all directions, and it can also have this maximum connection with the earth. So I work very often using this roll because it's such a simple tool. You can do it at home. You've got blankets at home. You've got chairs. If you don't have a flat area, even the back of a toilet seat, drop that down and put a roll there. That usually works great. If you don't have a toilet seat, use a step. Sit on like the second or third step and you can put the roll there. I've used logs when I'm hiking. All right. So for me, when I work with someone who has back pain, if their pelvis is not oriented right, you can work all day long on their back and they stand up and they don't have this connection through the legs and the hip joints. So it's very important that this lower area, the first chakra, is solid. Okay? Does it make sense? Thanks for joining me. You can find more in-depth guided instruction on my website at my store at sensingvitality.com.